When I tell you it took all my willpower not to just draw this single Eye of Sin and call it done, boy, I tell you. Before I open this review of Chapter 41 of Fortnite the Apocalypse, please do me a favor, leave your own notes on the chapter in the comment section down below, leave a like, and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, make sure you hit that little notification bell so you don't miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Now, let's get into it. What's up guys, I got a pencil here, and here we are to review Chapter 41 of Fortnite the Apocalypse, which is known as Fissures, which is actually known as, and you're kind of, can I say it? Can I say the S word? Stupid. Okay, let's hop right into it. So we open up the chapter and we get to see exactly what I feared. Gother isn't coming with us. Why? Okay, so like, I get it. The demons would be hard to just keep around with you. But, like, I know this is going to sound inhumane, but Gother, I'm not going to lie to you, buddy. I feel like it would have been safer if you'd have just, or not safer, but probably easier if you had, like, this is going to sound horrible, if you had kept the demons in the Archangel Crystal and escorted them to Leonis, and then once you were done, let them out. And then you're good. Especially as powerful as Gother is, like, he would have just been the perfect safety. He would have been the perfect escort. I can understand why Hauser may not be able to do it, because who knows, maybe some of the Holy Knights in Arthur's posse are relative to Hauser. And there you go, maybe they wouldn't be able. But Gother, we saw Ironside, who presumably is a pretty high-ranking Holy Knight, admit complete inferiority to Hauser. Or not Hauser, idiot. Commit complete inferiority to the sins. And Gother's a sin. And once again, I feel like it would be kind of important to escort, the 4 Knights of the Apocalypse, or at least one of them, the most important faction in the world right now, to Leonis. Because, it was an order by the king. And possibly taking literally one of the strongest people in the verse, as we know of right now, probably like a top 15 member. It's considering how weak my L is at this point. Probably, who knows, even higher than that. It would probably do him some good if he were to escort the knight, just for safety. But no, he has to stay behind with the demons because he needs to protect them. And to be fair, the demons do need to be protected. Obviously, we've seen that Arthur's knights are more than willing to come in, steal the demons, come in, kill the demons, come in, do whatever to the demons. No matter what their backstory is, they don't really care. They're just like, oh well, it's demon time, boys, and then they kill demons. I get that, but Gother, come on now, bro. Like this, Nakama's pattern so far with the series has been introduce characters, whether they be from previous series or new characters, have them interact, possibly get something from it, or possibly not, and then leave. And then have the people they met in whatever area wave goodbye or just say goodbye and stuff like that. And then the gang moves on. I know for a fact, obviously, you can't have just an infinite posse of people coming together. That'd be too many characters to handle at once. Even though I do think it would be can you imagine if we had the whole crew up to this point? Like, imagine if we had Dolores, Nasian's grandfather. We had Gother, Hauser, Edlin, everyone. Like, the whole crew with them. Heck, even Anne's father. Like, I know it'd be kind of stupid, but still. Like, imagine if everyone had come along. That would be kind of funny. But still, in terms of this one, just like the Hauser situation, it's like, this isn't smart. Like, I know Gother explicitly says he has faith in Percival. Like, when Dolcemonte asks, like, hey, yo, why are you leaving them? Why are you letting them go off on their own? Gother's like, well, don't worry. He's a knight of the apocalypse. He'll figure it out. Obviously, he needs to surpass this trial anyway. I can't just babysit him the entire time. But Gother, I feel like you should babysit him the entire time. He's baby. Like, the man barely knows anything. So I feel like you, a very knowledgeable Sin, would be able to help out quite a bit. I know Sin, the fox, is there. And obviously, there's just more and more implications that Sin himself really is just using this journey as one to train Percival. But, and Gother definitely would know that. He is the one who knocks Sin out. But at the same time, from an outside perspective, with us under the assumption that we don't know how powerful Sin is and how dangerous he seems to treat the people pursuing them later on in this very chapter, doesn't make much sense for Gother to just be like, whatever, I'm gone. And yeah, I don't know. Gother's staying behind. I get it. Obviously, you can't have that'll break the series, because unfortunately, we aren't in 7 Deadly Sins. We're in the universe of 7 Deadly Sins, but we aren't in the world of 7 Deadly Sins, where it's okay to have, like, broken, supposedly endgame characters just wandering around in the early group and like only have 1 or 2 weak people. Like, that's what 7 Deadly Sins was. It introduced us and gave us a cast of completely overpowered characters and set them in there with 1 or 2 weak people that they had to protect. and go on a hunt for. Meanwhile, we're having the reverse effect where we have a bunch of weak people and maybe one or two strong people in Percival and Sin, and they're backpacking right now. So right, still not happy with it. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. However, we do see that these pursuers they're no joke. He is coming along. One little thing. Once again, I love Gother in this new interpretation of him, or his evolution of character, because I love how he literally questions, am I being a warrior or not? Like, Gother wouldn't care about that in the previous series. Once again, his development into a more, like, ironically enough, human doll, I think that's great. I love how caring and nice and more human he's become. All that's great. However, we get to cut along to the new facts, the new gang, and they are on that hunt. They are sprinting. And it's mainly Sin, like, leading the charge, like, yo, we've got to go now. The pursuers are on the way. We are in trouble, McDouble. Not gonna lie to you. And obviously, these guys are about that action. They aren't like your Taliskers or your Ardd bags or anything like that. You're on that Ironside energy. They will just kill you, obviously. So we've got to go. And we see that the others are, like, lagging behind. But notably, it isn't actually because, like, Donnie is messing around, and Nosians is, like, super tired. They understand the situation too. Just that Anne's crying over Ardberg. And let me level with y'all real quick. Sin low-key kind of right. Like, I can't even get mad at Sin for that. Like, Sin, he's spitting facts, because it's revealed that Anne is like, Ardberg, why did you protect me? How could you? And she's holding the Chaos Staff that he had. Like, we never necessarily got solid confirmation that it was a Chaos Staff, but we knew, everyone and their mother, just by looking at it, knew it was a Chaos Staff. And Sin just walks over after Anne drops it while she's crying and is like, whoop, and destroys it. And this sends Anne into hysterics. Like, I love this panel. Anne's in hysterics. Donnie's in pure shock. Nosian's just face palming. Even Percival, for one of the rare times, is actually like, oh no, he really did it. Like, Percival looks shocked and almost like an intrigued and yet terrified way. I love that expression. This panel just has great expressions in it. I'm not gonna lie. Then we get to see Sin's like perfect, all done, and asks a question like, "Yo, why'd you do that?" And Sin makes the very obvious point, like, no, he literally asked, "Are you stupid?" He got that from King Arthur himself. We can't leave it intact because notably we don't know what these, like, Chaos Staffs do in connection relative to Arthur. Like, they could straight up be, like, notably the Chaos Staff has eyes, so it's entirely possible it's like a Demon King and Hawk situation where, like, Arthur's just straight up watching through the staff at all times and he's just waiting and observing them, and the longer Anne kept the staff around, the longer he could track them. They could always have the idea of where the 4-night group is going right now. I wouldn't be shocked. Arthur is definitely smart enough like that. Like, this man is obviously a demon. Call him a king if you will. But, like, legitimately, I could see Arthur using the staves like that to keep track on not only his knights, but in case they ever do find anything important or anything good, he can monitor that too. So, wouldn't be all too shocked. So I'm glad Sin crushed it, because to be fair, that was a big liability. And here's the thing. Like, Anne, I get it. Ardberg protected you. But also, Ardberg is the one who put you in a situation where you couldn't defend yourself. Huh? Like, I know emotions are a big bad thing, but you knew Ardd for all of 30 minutes? You interacted with him before he revealed he was evil and, trying to kill your friend and possibly you too. You talked to him for about a good 30 minutes. Maybe at most. That's at tops. Like, I really don't think it was that long, but still, that's at tops, 30 minutes. And then you ended up getting attacked by him, then turned into a baby, and then you were put in a situation where you almost lost your life because of him. What is there to like about this? Like, here's the thing. I feel bad for Ardd because I think his story's tragic. But it's in the same way that I view Shigaraki's story tragic. Like, I feel bad for the dude, but I'm not going to excuse his actions. Like, oh, boo-hoo, he saved my life. I mean, it's a good thing he gone, though, because he almost got me killed. I don't know. I don't get Anne's perspective here. Like, not at all. And I don't think anyone else in the group does either. That's what's the most sad thing, right? Because it'd be one thing if it was just Sin being outlandish and being like, yo, this isn't safe, we gotta get rid of it, and he crushes it and keeps it pushing, and then like everyone else is berating him. But Nasine's route that cut is being like, yo, those things are awful. Turned my grandfather into a literal vicious forest attacking monster that tried to kill me. Maybe we shouldn't keep that around. And then we get to see that in that same breath, Anne tries to like defend it. But see, like Nasine's is too good of a dude, bro. Like let's go be completely honest, because Nasine's like understands Anne's pain and is like I still, once again, I don't know why I greatly appreciate that he only calls her Anne Galahad, but it's always cool to hear her full name. So I can't wait to hear Nasine's voice actor. Now, that's a weird thing to say, especially since I usually don't watch anime, but I really want to hear his voice actor, because especially for scenes like this, because this just seems like a very personal scene. And then like I love how, once again, it's only Anne having this super drastic reaction, because after Nasine's calms her down, like explaining to her why Ardd didn't use the Chaos Staff, because he just wasn't the kind of guy to do that sort of thing. He was obviously a pretty nice dude, but still needed to be stopped. He was trying to destroy innocent people who likely had nothing to do with the attack on his village, just because, oh, you're demons, that means you're evil by association. That's not a good idea. He, once again, almost did get you all killed. But then Sin just comes out the clutches like, yo, honestly, that's the same reason why that man got clapped up. That's why we're smoking that Ardd pack right now. That man, if I were that man, I would have taken this Chaos Staff, fused Ceranos, the underworld deity, with one of the demons and destroyed the entire village. And y'all. And everything. I'm just built like that. I'm different. And Sin, yo, not gonna lie, Sin low-key kind of spitting right there. That's a plot right there. That's a plan. So yeah, he's kind of right. And not gonna lie, and once again, notably, no one is defending Anne. Like, no one here is on Anne's side. And I think that's both a good thing and a bad thing. It's a good thing because it shows, despite 2 of our 3 other characters being idiots, in the case of Percival and Donnie, and just the one best boy, which is Nasine's, they're all just thinking about this logically. Like, and your connection to this dude makes no sense. This is a stupid reason for conflict. I'm not gonna lie, this is a dumb reason. And I don't like Naka, but you justified Ardd being a tragedy to us as a reader, but in the context of the narrative, you didn't justify Ardberg as this super pivotal figure for Anne in this small time frame. I don't care what like that. It just isn't enough for me. I don't know. Like, do y'all think this is enough? Like, does this make sense to you, or does Anne seem nonsensical like she does to like every other character in the chapter? Like, is this just me and every other character that? Nah, see, I'm being unfair with that. Does this make sense to you? Does Anne's reactions to this dude make sense, regardless of everything else, or regardless of what I've said so far? Does Anne's reaction here seem to make logical sense, or was she overreacting? Whichever you think, please tell me in the comment section down below. However, and that's the thing, once again, Anne goes into, Ardd lost his life guarding me, and you're insulting him. Who do you think you are? Anne, you wouldn't have had to be guarded if he didn't baby you and almost get you killed in the first place and almost kill your friend. Like, huh? I don't know. I just don't get it. And the thing is, Sin, once again, is like, yo, just calm down. There's no point in being emotional every 5 seconds. And I'm just being honest with y'all as your companion. And then Anne just goes into, no, you're not my companion. You don't understand how people's hearts work. And Percival, you gotta stop, like I know you're 16 and also like essentially a 5-year-old in mentality, but stop grabbing people there. That's very illegal, Percival. I'm not even confident I'm gonna show that on screen. Editing pencil, keep that out. Don't even put that on there, because it's just weird. Don't do it. You listen to me, editing pencil. You listen to me. But regardless of that, it's great that, I mean, like, people start to say Sin's going too far, but they aren't saying he's wrong, because he isn't. But then Anne brings up this thing of like, are you really on our side? When we went into the Crystal got her. I swear I can't English. When we went into the Crystal, like, she brings up the fact, went to the Crystal Grotto, bada bing, bada boom, weren't there. And then Sin reveals he went back and got Gother. The only reason they're alive. Pretty good reason. I think that's a good reason for him not to be there. And he straight up admits, like, if I were to become a baby with the rest of y'all, we'd be dead, right? And she's there you go. And then Sin admittedly does take the L when pressing on where he was when Serenus was attacking. But then Percival comes to Sin's defense when he says he was napping. He's like, well, Sin did give me the way to defeat the monster, like the moment he woke up. And in Sin's defense, he didn't want to go to sleep, if we're being completely honest. I mean, he wanted to sleep after he was sleeping, but up until that point, he was doing just fine. So, yeah, once again, not Sin's fault. And then, in Kant, also, Sin was doing something else. He's the reason Hauser came back and fought for y'all and saved your lives against the ancient dragon. So that's also good on Sin's part. And Sin also is the person who likely transformed back to his regular state or just boloed all the evil dead or whatever, the chaotic dead. So yeah, Sin's been backpacking. And what have you done? No, actual question. What's Anne done? She danced with Ardd for 2 seconds, so she was attacking them. She ended up putting the demons in danger. And she was the one who got the cut on Ironside. She got the cut on Ironside. There we go. The rest, she wasted all their money. She's been an emotional liability. And you better have a mean character arc. That's all I'm going to say. But essentially, even Donnie and Nasians are defending Sin because Anne just doesn't make sense right now in this chapter. This chapter is called Fissures, but I think it's just Anne's fissures between the groups because she's being a little illogical. Once again, stepping back from all this, I'm not saying this is out of character for Anne. This is going to sound bad, but she is a 16-year-old girl. This is probably how a 16-year-old girl would react in the situation. They probably would. This is how most people would react in a situation without any, real time to adjust to a scenario. Notably, they got the move on not a day later. They literally probably just got back and then had to keep it pushing. So Anna's had very little time to process everything. So she's just still caught up in the heat of the moment. This is all very realistic reaction. But still, me tackling this from the logical perspective and no one backing Anne up in the scenario, it just really makes Anne look, as Sin says, stupid. But we see that Anne's really on this Meliodas beat, right? No, not on this Meliodas. Anne is on that Bond beat right now. You never help us. You act like you're so superior. She's not acting all buddy with us already. We're the only ones who suffer in the end. And here's the thing. If this is Bond or Lancelot, really, because either one works, or if this is a purgatory beast in general, then Anne, you don't know the truth. But straight up, if this is Bond, he's seen some stuff. He's seen some stuff. He's suffered all right. If this is Lancelot, he's seen some stuff. He suffered all right. This is a purgatory beast. He's seen some stuff. He suffered all right. And you don't know the truth. That's all I'm going to say. And even Sin is like, well, my fault, OG, my fault. And I love how, not even, Anne gets back to normal after the apology and is, super happy to keep it moving. And I love how Sin just reveals the moment Anne's walking up ahead after, people are like, whoa, I didn't really expect you to kowtow like that. Sin's like, oh, yeah, I just straight up manipulated her. Because anger is better than sadness, and we need to keep it pushing. I need to destroy the Chaos Staff. She's still stupid. And Sin's right. I'm not gonna lie. That emotional manipulation, I like that. You what a clever fox. I'm not gonna lie. You, as Master Xehanort would say, you sly fox. I like that. That was good. That was smart on Sin's part. And we see that Percival, essentially, after seeing this entire situation with Anne, Percival's like, wow, Sin, you really are a good guy. And he asks a really important question because he says, Sin is so grown up. How old are you? Because you remind me of my grandpa. You're 30, maybe 50. And then Sin lets something slip. And he says 3,000. And then he says, kidding. All right. Let me rub my hands together a little bit menacingly, if you will. Unless there's, who knows? Sin could just be lying entirely. But unless the time dilation in whatever realm that Lancelot went to was literally just weird and completely different, leading to 3,000 years of life and mental experience, this kind of sounds like Bond, if you know what I'm saying. Know what I'm saying? Kind of sounds like Bond. Because the only other person that we would know, like, I doubt this is Meliodas of all people. Because, like, you could say 3,000, then there's no way this is Merlin in my mind. I don't think that works either. So that's the only other 3,000. I don't think this is Elizabeth. So that rules out the other 3,000. And then Diane and King don't count. They haven't been around for 3,000 years. And the only other being that I could hypothetically think that could be Sin the Fox in this demeanor that's 3,000 years old and happens to fit the criteria of either being dead or possibly reincarnated to be upwards of 3,000 years old is, like, Terrieri? That doesn't make sense. And Ro. And maybe Monspeet, but none of those make sense. Monspeet didn't even get the reincarnation spell, so he wouldn't even remember the past 3,000 years. So, yeah, I'm not exactly, Naka, but you kind of selling me on Bond right now. I'm being completely honest with you. But then we get to see that Sin, like, despite having manipulated Anne, he still does have feelings. He's like, yo, if I'm no help to anyone, does that not make me part of the group? Like, he's actually questioning his security within the group, and I think that's a cool thing for Sin to do. Even though no one was against him except for Anne, I think him still taking into account the emotions of others is actually really, really nice, because it shows that he's not all cold-hearted. He's just more calculated than the others because he has a more mature mindset, but he still can get affected by things like, insults, attacks to his character and stuff like that, and the accusation that he's not even really part of the group. Like, that would probably hurt, especially considering he's literally one of the founding 3 members of said group. I feel like, yeah, it makes sense that he'd be hurt by that. But then Percival's like, just having you around makes me happy, Sin. And the two realize that the others have gotten far ahead, and they try to go catch up. And Sin has this moment of revelation where he's like, yeah, this guy really is a knight of hope and death. Very much death. But yeah, it's cool to see Percival just always being an inspiration through his sheer, just his sheer honesty, his country bumpkin nature. It does the man good. Then we get to see the reason they ran up ahead is because there's a certain entangled forest, which is a bunch of trees that grow together in really weird directions, and it's pretty darn big. This almost looks like a somewhat swallow grove, something. Like, I'm not sure what you would call it, but you'd probably call it a forest because I'm an idiot, or like a thicket, but that's the other name for it. But this grove of trees, it's one of the things that Percival's grandfather mentioned, and that means it could likely be the same one that will, like, trap you in there forever until you can't leave. So Sin is like, wait a minute, that's actually pretty useful right now because we're being chased. So maybe if we get in here, the chasers won't be able to pursue us. They won't be able to leave. But Sin, buddy, pal, amigo, talk to me. Unless you stay outside of that forest, if it is supposed to trap you, why would you want to lead your trappers there? Because then you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. Because either you go in there and you get trapped yourself, or you let your attackers catch up to you and then they trap you there because you're either cornered to go there or go die. Like, I don't know what the strat here was, Sin, but I guess it works. They're probably gonna find a way to get out anyway. But then we get to see that Anne apparently just isn't following orders from Sin anymore, so she just steals her idea. No, okay. And then bada bing, bada boom. That's the end of the chapter, because Sin he hands over the reins to Anne entirely. Like, go ahead. Whatever, we'll follow your orders, boss lady. Like, whatever, we'll do whatever you want. And of course, Anne's like, wait, we need ideas. And then Sin's like, you don't take orders anymore. We aren't brainstorming. We're done. And that is the end of the chapter. Notably, let me scoot in my chair to say this one. And low-key dragged down the chapter this week. I'm not going to lie to you. This is obviously an intermediary chapter. I don't know where my English goes whenever I do these reviews. I swear I can talk normally whenever I'm not recording. But in terms of, like, character, I really didn't like Anne this chapter. Even if it is a realistic portrayal of what a woman her age in this situation would act like, that doesn't make it something entertaining to read. So she drags the chapter down. Every other character was just fine in this chapter. Percival was good. Sin was good. Gotha, as much as I don't like his decision, was fine. Everyone else, Donnie, he didn't speak much in this chapter, so he's fine. Nasian's was best boy as always. So yeah, everyone else in this chapter is just fine, which gets the chapter still an 8 out of 10. But Anne's like obvious just ignorance of the danger of their situation and the whole fact that Ardd is the reason she almost died in the first place, made like devaluing his guarding of her. None of that really works that well, not gonna lie. That's about it. This isn't like there isn't much to say about this chapter. We don't even get to see the pursuers at all in this chapter. I thought we were going to get a little bit more of them possibly chasing and maybe like passing Gother and then admitting like, oh, we cannot fight this dude. We're lucky that didn't stay with him. And then they keep it pushing, but no, we didn't get any of that. So yeah, it was a nice intermediary chapter. 8 out of 10. I like the conflicts here. I like the whole character interactions between Sin and Percival. I like seeing Nasian's character interaction with Sin. All that. No, Nasian's character interaction with Anne, all that was good. However, the base premise of the chapter that there are fissures between Anne and Sin doesn't work that well when Sin is out here making all the sense that he might as well have dollars, and Anne is making so little sense she might as well be in debt. But those are my thoughts on the chapter. Please let me know what you think about the chapter in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is that guy with the pencil, writing off.